Hello, fellow traders. 'Tis I, TheRumpledOne, coming to you on Thursday, March the 4th. The year's 2021. Let's talk trading. Your last trade with Walmal. Just remember, these videos are for educational purposes only, and your results may differ from mine and different from Walmal's. Walmal, how was your last trade?
My last trade was a beautiful trade. It was a really good trade. I followed my rules. I got a good entry. So the broker went and cooperated with me. I did what I was supposed to do, and the market did what it was supposed to do. So can't complain about that, can you? So I went in and I picked up. I think let me just go look it up on my chart right now. I got 9.5 pips on it. So I can't complain about that trade. And I didn't listen to your video, but I'm sure you talked about this yesterday. But this whole idea that the reality is, your last trade's only good if you follow your rules. I don't care if you made money or you didn't make money. That's the reality of it. Just going and just making, getting profit on this one time doesn't really mount up for very much, because the reality is that if you keep on making mistakes and you make mistake after mistake after mistake, yeah, you're going to win some of them, because the market sometimes is just going to cooperate with you even though you made a mistake. And you know what? In the long term, what's going to happen is, you're probably going to get burned. Or if you don't get burned, maybe you got to go and relook at your method. I don't know, but that's a reality check. And when at the end of the day, I always like to go back and look at all my trades for the day. Whether I took only one trade that day or I took, and I've seen the number of trades, and I look at every single trade and I go through it and I critique it, not to go and get nostalgia about, oh, that was a great trade, look at all the money I made. No, I critique it from a much more serious point of view, and that seriousness, or that critical part, is I critique it from the idea, did I do what I was supposed to do? Did I go and follow my trading plan? Was I prepared to take the trade? Did I go and use my entry method properly? Did I use my exit method properly? And to be honest with you, I know statistically over time I'm going to go and be in the black, and so knowing that, I don't really go and look at the actual numbers that much. Obviously I do, because I need to go and make sure I can go and pay the mortgage, so to speak. But but for the most part, I don't look at those numbers. When do I look at those numbers? I look at those numbers at the end of the week. I look at those numbers at the end of the month. But I'm looking at it from a different perspective.
I just had a thought. In football, you watch game films. When you were playing baseball in college, did you guys watch game films?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And, now baseball is a little bit different than football in this respect. There's game film that you watch, in baseball, but not nearly like you do in football. Football is literally play-by-play. You watch those things, even in high school, you go and do that. But in baseball, it's more of, with the game films that you're watching, is if you got a hitter that is, in a losing streak, meaning he's just not hitting, he's just off his game. Well, what happens is usually your batting coach will sit down and watch your at bats and watch what you're doing, watch how you're setting up, and also a lot of times they'll even go and film you even during batting practice. During those times. And because a lot of times you'll get a guy who's, hitting stupendously, in batting practice, and yet at the same time is just miserable at the plate during the game. And then the question is it a psychology problem? Is he doing something different in the game than he is doing, during practice? And trying to narrow those things down. Well, trading can be the same thing. The idea here is that, you're going back and you're looking at the trades and saying, okay, why did I, if I want to go look at it, first thing is, okay, I won or lost this trade. Okay, did I win the trade? Why did I win the trade? Did I go and use a proper method entry? Did I go and use a proper exit method? Did I go and have proper risk? Did I go and manage the money properly? And make sure that you got all those check marks in place, and you do exactly the same thing on a losing trade. You go and check all four of those points. Again, do I have all those things in place to make sure that I'm winning and losing for the right reasons? Now, I kind of alluded to it a little bit earlier, but if I'm taking trades, trade after trade after trade, and
like you do.
Yeah, well, I'm saying, yeah, but if you're taking trade after trade after trade, and you just, and you're following your method, and you're doing everything right, okay, and you checked all the boxes, and you keep on losing, well, now what you have to evaluate is your trading plan. But you don't go and reevaluate your trading plan after one day, or maybe even after 1 week you don't do it. But if you are consistently having the same problem, that's when you go and say, hey, maybe there's, either, there's something in my trading plan that's just not there that I need to go and put into my trading plan, or I think I'm following my trading plan, but the reality is I'm really not telling the truth to myself because, it closed above that line. And reality is, no, it really didn't close above that line. I jumped the trade. There are things like that we do all the time.
That's for sure.
And just that, it's kind of funny. I was thinking about this when you told me what the topic was going to be. In sales, I've never been a salesman, but in sales they always tell salesmen, you're only as good as your last trade.
Your last sale,
trading,
yeah.
I don't necessarily believe that in terms of trading. Part of it's true in trading. In other words, if you're just looking at from a pure money point of view, no, because the thing is, the reality is that you can do every single thing right, okay, and you come out on a losing end. Well, that expression would say that you're a loser and that you messed up, and no, you didn't mess up. But the part that is true about that is that at the end of the day, did I go and follow my trading plan step by step by step? Did I go and do everything I was supposed to do? Did I prepare myself? Did I get enough rest? Am I emotionally ready for trading that day? Do I have all those things in place? And if you can answer yes to every one of those things, you know what? You're good. You're good. And you're as good as your last trade because you went and did all the things that you were supposed to do.
Exactly. We're about to hit the daily high here on the pound. Did you notice that?
I'm actually on my charts. I'm quite a bit above the daily. Actually, no, I'm not. I'm sorry. From the high, I'm 5 pips off the high. I was looking at the open. I wasn't looking at the high. Sorry about that. But yeah, we're real close to that. Yeah, that'll be interesting if it takes that. And if you look the interesting thing about that, where that daily high is, if you look on the 1 minute candle, it shot all the way up there and it rejected that high for some reason. I haven't gone back and looked to see why, if there was something in the past, but it went up there and on that 1 minute candle shot down 7 pips off of that high. And it's like, I wonder if there's something up there that tells me that, if it breaks that, it's going to go and really rock it. Or, hey, maybe this is an opportunity for me to go up there and when I get back up there and look for another rejection off of that line again, and depending on what your method is, both of them may be very, very valid things to do. But for instance, the Walmal line for this hour is the 70 line. At least on my chart, it's the 70 line. And to be honest with you, I don't know if I'd want to go and take that trade. Only because, that where it got rejected was at 72.2. So that tells me there was a hard rejection at that point, and that tells me, that's a little sketchy there because I've only got maybe 2 pips of room. If I get in where it was a very, very low spread, and I get in there with a very, very low commission, you add those 2 things up, you've already covered what that is. But at the same time, there's also opportunity there because if it does break it, then maybe there's a good chance it can go all the way up to 80 very quickly. But I personally, I don't like to take trades like that because to me, the risk outweighs the reward for me because I just see how badly it got rejected. And if you look at that rejection, There's this idea out there, how quickly did it go up and how quickly did it go down? And to me, if I look at these charts, it's like the going down part, it seems to be a lot steeper of a ride than the going up part. So, I would stay away from that trade.
Yeah, because if you look left, right here, you see wicks and you see red bodies. That's what you first hit. So that means you don't have any friends on your side. If you're looking left and you see green bodies, then you've got some friends on your side.
You got some people pushing the price up, and holding it. And the other thing is holding the price up because, it's one, they're going in and they've pushed they're going to help you push the price up. But not only that, because they've got their stop losses someplace, just like we do. And because they got stop losses in place there, they're going to go and try to protect those stop losses. So, for that reason, there's a good chance that it's going to go and get pulled down. So, I don't know if I want to go and do that.
Yeah, but what's interesting, though, the daily range right now is only 56 on my charts, and that's at the 0 percentile.
Yeah, my chart it's 56 and 15%, which is close in my book. 15%, 0%. They're pretty close to each other. So
yeah, but how many bars are you looking back? I'm looking back 100.
I'm only looking back 2 weeks. So
14. Okay.
We had those compressed weeks there, and yesterday's range was only 86 pips. The day before was 118, but the day before that was only 95. So it just seems to me what we're experiencing right now is that we're in a compressed market for whatever reason. Price is trying to figure out where price is going to go, and every once in a while, maybe it drifts in a particular direction, and then all of a sudden it needs to go and have a big bar day just to go and correct because it drifted too far in one particular direction, and that's kind of what's happening. But the interesting thing is that if you look at the hourly ranges, this hour, we're only 20 minutes in, but it's only 14 pips. Last hour was 27. The hour before that was only 13. That's unheard of in the London session to have only 13 pips. The hour before that was 27 and 24. You're going to get those things, and when I say it's unheard of, that doesn't mean it has never happened before. What that means is that it's so rare. And if you look at the smart range on that, that's 33%. So that means that 33% of the time it does do that. So we can do it. But
how many bars? How many bars are you checking on H1? I'm checking 160.
I'm checking 300 bars on that.
Okay.
So we're obviously in a compressed market, and the reason why I bring that up is because even though we're in a compressed market because we only had 56 pips for the day, there's this idea of travel. In that 56 pips, did it just go up 56 pips and stop for the rest of the day? More than likely not. Could it do that? Sure, it could, but most likely it won't do that, and I don't think it will do that. But what it will do maybe is go up 25, 30 pips, come back down, let's say 40 pips, and so now you've traveled your 60 pips, so roughly, and so technically, if you think about it, you could have picked up pips on that travel back and forth, depending on what lines you're looking to go and take your trades at. So you can still make your money. It's just that, okay, know that you're not going to go and, there's a good chance that you're not going to get that 20 or 30 pip run today. It's highly unlikely that you'll get it. Can you get it? Sure you can, because you know what? Next minute we could go and have a 30 or 40 pip candle. You don't know what it's going to go and do.
Exactly.
But the likelihood of it happening is, it's getting slimmer.
Yeah, because right now, we've got 1 minute left here, and the red rats look like they're getting ready to feast because we're definitely in that red rat zone. So, fellow traders, I hope that helped you think about it, your last trade. I hope some more of you traders watching this video will post and tell us about your last trade. Because remember, it's not what you trade, it's how you trade it. So go out there and drain the banks. This is the Rumpled One, over and out.